Today on Callout, whitewater specialist Chris Armstrong is en route to the scene of a car crash in the Similkameen River.
We're just inside the Buffalo right now. They're just doing their checklist.
And later, military and civilian search and rescue team up to find a missing airplane.
We're going to come in and extract all the casualties as well as the SARTECs and the rescuers out.
Saturday, 6:11 p.m. Search and rescue coordinators are wrapping up a 2-day-long training exercise when their cell phones go off simultaneously. Penticton SAR is requesting professional Swiftwater rescue instructor Chris Armstrong's expertise at the Ashnola River, where a car has been found half-submerged. The driver was last seen leaving a nearby campsite. He has been missing for 18 hours.
Now, usually this is, a long drive, or we have to find a helicopter that can get me there. Conveniently enough, the Armed Forces 442 Squadron was also part of the exercise, and they offered to give me a ride.
Engine is 108, torque is 709. We're just inside the Buffalo right now. They're just doing their checklist. They figure it's about 35 minutes flight time. It's getting pretty quick. It's a nice ride if you can catch one.
On departure, it'll be a climbing turn, back to the left. It's a nice country out here.
The aircraft will drop Chris off in Penticton. From there, it's just a short helicopter flight to the Ashnola River.
So I'm in Penticton now. Got a helicopter coming right now to grab me, and we'll head on to the river and see what's going on.
What's our ETA there, Eric? We should be there in about 12 minutes. Awesome. Must be up here. Yeah, there we go. It's underwater. Vehicle river, midstream. I think the work's cut out.
I know the Ashnola River well. I grew up there. For 3 weeks every year, this river's in full flood. We were right in the middle of it. This was going to be serious business.
Search and rescue teams from Penticton, Oliver Asuyas, and Karamias are already on scene.
So you can see behind me there's a, looks like a Honda or some kind of small domestic vehicle that's in a very traditional position. The current's pushed it around, facing upstream. Engine's heavy, pushes it down, the water pushes down on the hood. We know the windshield's out because the water's coming through the open doors. So there's a good chance even a seatbelted victim in there who could be deceased is going to get flushed.
The helicopter that brought Chris to the river has completed its mission and heads back to base. It takes off with 3 members from Penticton Search and Rescue on board, including team leader Hamish Reedy, who will look for the subject on the way back.
We had the hope that he was still alive, as with any search. We flew the river, hoping to find him on a high point of land, somewhere either side of the river, possibly walking down the road, and we just really had that hope that he was still alive.
Meanwhile, Chris is working on a strategy to access the car.
Priority number 1, make sure the subject is or isn't in the vehicle. There's no point putting people at risk searching downstream if the subject's still in the car. First thing you want to do is get a line attached to the vehicle. I use a reach tool. It's a small grappling hook on the end of a rope. You can throw it out, hook a part of the car, and secure a line to it. The idea is to take one of our members, put them on tether, and have them ride the rope out using the current to take them to the vehicle.
Colleen Avon, a certified Swiftwater technician, receives pointers from Chris before entering the river.
We didn't want to be swimming. It was deadly below where the car was. To a swimmer, you might survive, you might not. And that's not really an option. We aren't there to die.
A rope is hooked up to Colleen's PFD. In the event she loses grip, Chris will simply steer her to shore. If that fails, Swiftwater technicians stationed downriver will deploy throw bags.
I'm still very new to Swiftwater rescue. It's very new and was very intimidating. First time I slid down the rope, I ended up in a a V below the car, so the rope was going back upstream. It just sort of pushed me under and held me there briefly. There's actually a little pocket of air, even when it looks like you're totally submerged in a river like that. There's a little pocket of air just under your chin. And so I wasn't too panicky. I was just trying to make sure that this was the time to let go.
Unable to go any further, Colleen decides to let go and is swung to the river's edge on her safety line. While she clambers back up on shore, Chris tightens the rope system. This time, it's smooth sailing.
I knew that once I reached the car that there would be an eddy behind it where the force of the river would be less, and it would give me an opportunity to let go of the rope and grab onto the car and pull myself up onto the car without too much of a struggle. The whole force of the river was actually pouring through the front and then out the side windows, and it was just a car full of black water, some floating seat cushions that were still attached, and that was really all there was.
Once we determined the subject wasn't in the vehicle, we're already on the vehicle, we might as well try to retrieve it.
Colleen attaches the tow line to the roof and returns to dry land. The teams stand back as the tow truck attempts to pull the car out of the water. But the river's current holds the vehicle in its ruthless grip, and the tow line rips free.
So we've done what we can today. The vehicle's in a position now where we can't get a cable on it, so we're gonna shut down the vehicle side of it. We'll do a river search tomorrow. Guys will see what they can find. The vehicle itself will leave where it is until the roof's exposed, where it's more safe to get in there and have a look at it.
At the crack of dawn, search teams are back on the job.
Last night, nothing was found. We're going to return back to the scene today and search the remainder 4 to 5 kilometers of river down to the Similkameen River.
The teams fear that if the subject is not found in the Ashnola River, he won't be found at all.
If he had reached the Similkameen River, it's such a large laminar flow and it has no eddies on the sides. It basically would have carried him right through to the United States. We think of the river as what would a piece of wood do floating down the river. So we check high probability areas where you've got log jams or logs rolling in the river.
They use avalanche probes to feel the bottom of the riverbed, but their search is limited to the shorelines. The river current is boiling fast.
We didn't want to put anybody in the river at all. Unless we had a live subject, we were not going to put somebody in the river. By the end of the day, we had covered 6.5 kilometers of river right to Similkameen. We had covered all the delta areas. We found no trace of our subject. It was decided that we would wait till the river volume lowered and we would go back in to search the river again at a later date.
Nobody gave up. Family, RCMP, search and rescue. Every time someone was in that area, they had a look.
2 months later, a breakthrough. An RCMP helicopter performing a routine flight in the area has spotted a body on the edge of the Ashnola River. It's more than 7 kilometers downstream from where the car went in.
We were hoping it was our missing subject, but it's not the first time that the body we're recovering is not the subject that was missing.
The coroner will later confirm that it is, in fact, the missing driver.
Our greatest joy is to find someone alive and rescue them. Sometimes we have to settle with just finding them, but in the end, at least we can bring them home to their families.
Friday, 4:30 p.m. On the outskirts of Nakusp, BC, 2 people witness a small aircraft flying dangerously low, trailing smoke, and about to crash. They immediately call the RCMP. Search and rescue teams converge on the site to prepare for a full-scale operation.
Go, guys.
This is an exercise. In this day-long simulation, various ground SAR teams, the RCMP, Canadian Forces SARTEX, and Casera will work together to locate the missing airplane and its 3 occupants. SAREX is coordinated like an actual mission using many resources. What you will see here are the inner workings of a major search and rescue effort. SAR veterans will act as evaluators and observers, shadowing the players and assessing their every move. Friday, 7:30 p.m. The teams are prepping their 24-hour packs.
I don't have a water with me. Okay. We want to make sure that they have everything that they need to do their job when they're in the field.
Their job as volunteer SAR members may require them to spend up to 24 hours outside in the elements. They have to be prepared. Some people get creative.
So if you've got a crappy, rainy situation, you light that. You build your fire on top of it, and it just goes.
So we get a hiking pole, and then we use it as a tent pole on my tarp, and I can use it for a tracking pole when I'm doing tracking, following foot length and stride.
With their packs fully inspected, the players are sent home for the night. SAREX won't officially start until the next morning. Saturday, 6 a.m. The players receive their assignments from Incident Command. The SAR managers in this exercise are also players and include a head SAR manager, planning chief, logistics chief, and communications chief, among others.
This is the flight path. We've sent out a team just now with a handheld ELT locator and see if they can pinpoint the crash site.
In Canada, every aircraft has to be equipped with an emergency locator transmitter, or ELT, that emits a radio signal, which helps to pinpoint the plane's location should it crash.
Fortunately, the signal isn't strong enough to give us any more than a wind indication on here, so we're still a ways away from it.
Based on the witnesses' accounts, SAR managers believe the plane crashed somewhere along the Cuscanucks River. They divide the search area into 5 grids, 2 of which are on the other side of the river.
So the Swiftwater and the rope team are going to go together. They're going to drive up this road, the Hot Springs Road, to a place where it gets really close to the creek. And here they're going to rig up a high line so they can get people across to the other side of the creek.
We're going to be the Swiftwater team, so it sounds like we're going to be assisting the rope team to put a line across the river so that we can continue further into the bush.
At 8 a.m., the players are on the move as planned.
Now assembled our team, and the time is...
Throughout the exercise, leadership skills are also evaluated.
One of the things that I'm looking for is them briefing in what we call a SMEAC format. SMEAC standing for situation, mission, execution, administration, and communication.
Looking at the terrain.
Ground SAR teams are tasked to search the 3 areas, which have easy access north of the Cuscanucks River.
Make sure that we're sweeping in both directions. Spacing's looking good. Keep up.
The team is supposed to be evenly spaced to perform a basic grid search of the area.
Just follow the tree line.
Right now, the evaluator has his eye on the team leader.
My concern is that he's actually getting ahead of his team. It's hard to supervise when you're ahead of them because you don't know what's going on behind. So he should be back behind and sort of wandering between his members, sort of making sure that they're okay and making sure that they're keeping their spaces and things like that.
A SAR team is only as strong as its weakest link. While Alpha Team comb the clearing, the Swiftwater and rope teams are preparing to traverse the raging Cuscanucks River. They will have to rig a high line to get across.
We have a rope team that is going to be building a high line. The Swiftwater team is going to be getting the rope to the far side and assisting that rope team to get across the water barrier.
The rapids here are Class 3 whitewater and full of hazards.
In the exercise, this part of it was never really intended. The piece of water that they've chosen is quite dangerous, and I'll probably stop them before they get too involved, as it's going to take too much and the risk is too high for an exercise.
9:15 a.m. Volunteer members from CASERA, the Civil Air Search and Rescue Association, arrive at an airstrip near the SAR base. They are quickly briefed and sent out to do an aerial sweep. Their main task, locating the source of the weak ELT signal that SAR crews had picked up just hours before. As soon as CASERA clears the runway, a Cormorant helicopter from Canadian Forces Search and Rescue Squadron 442, based at CFB Comox, arrives on scene. On board are specially trained SAR techs who are here to assist the ground teams as they would in a real-life situation.
We're going to come in and extract all the casualties as well as the SAR techs and the rescuers out.
The SAR techs are not being evaluated in the exercise, so they get first peek at the simulated crash site. And now, the bad news. The Incident Command has tasked their search teams to the wrong areas. They are nowhere near the crash site.
In their planning, they're making it a lot more complicated than they need to be. They're going in geographically a direction that's taking them off of track as to where the actual crash site is. And they're taking all their resources and they're pouring them into this one area. And at a certain point in time, we're going to provide this inject that'll redirect everything back where it needs to be.
An inject is usually new information that will adjust the search focus and put the exercise back on track. At 12 p.m., Incident Command receives the inject from their eyes in the sky.
As it turns out, we're looking in completely the wrong area. The plane was actually spotted, and it's several kilometers to the southwest of where we were looking. It's down here right alongside the Kuskonex on another tributary, so we're going to send a hasty team in there right now. This is the way search and rescue goes. Sometimes the eyewitness says something and it doesn't turn out. You just got to keep looking until you find something.
The search teams are called back to base.
We've been called back to base, so we are discontinuing our search even though we didn't finish sweeping this area.
But not everybody gets the news.
We lost communication with them, and we can't get a hold of them, so we're moving forward with our mission.
Communication is vital to any search effort. Search managers will often set up a complex network of radio signal repeaters to communicate with ground teams searching BC's mountainous terrain.
Command, this is rope 1, over.
Luckily, the message gets through before the teams waste much more time and energy rigging up to cross the churning river.
It's probably going to take us a good 15-20 minutes to break this all down and pack it away.
1:30 p.m. Ground SAR teams Alpha and Bravo arrive and join SAR techs at the crash site.
It appears that they're located on an island. The other side of the river looks no better than this side for approach.
They enlist the help of the SAR techs and devise a plan.
Him and I are going to go upstream to where we said approximately where the small stream is entering the river. We're going to swim it. We're going to penetrate that site. We're going to radio back. We'll tell you exactly what's going on that scene. And then you guys can start making up your mind how you're going to set it up to do traversing and things like that.
The SAR techs report back that one subject is deceased, another is severely injured. The third occupant of the aircraft is missing. A member of the Swiftwater team joins the SAR techs on the island.
Alpha Bravo is splitting up, sending
Team Bravo is sent downstream to look for the missing occupant. The priority right now is to get the injured subject to hospital. They'll use the Cormorant helicopter to hoist him out.
Far side, this is water 1, over.
With the injured subject evacuated, the Swiftwater team will assist Alpha team to extract the deceased subject off of the island. 3 p.m. 1 kilometer downstream of the crash site, Team Bravo has located the missing subject. He is deceased, and a recovery is underway.
We got two things going on at once here. We got the rigging team right here,
preparing to retrieve someone from just below the bridge. We look upstream, we can see the Swiftwater team doing containment for the rescue off the island where the actual crash was.
Containment in swift water refers to the practice of placing members with rope throw bags downstream of the operation as a kind of safety net to catch anyone who may be swept away during the mission. 6 p.m. 12 hours after the exercise began, with all 3 subjects accounted for, SAR-X comes to a close. In reality, a search for a downed aircraft can go on for several days, even weeks, and sometimes without success.
What was it like?
That was great.
SAR-X has allowed these volunteers to further hone their skills in readiness for a real mission. Callout Search and Rescue features real stories filmed live by search and rescue teams during actual missions. Find out more at calloutsar.tv.